So you want your sim to be stutter free, without crackling sounds, a decent amount of FPS in VR? Welcome to my refined VR settings guide for Flight Simulator 24. Please watch the whole video because fine-tuning VR is extremely difficult, and if you miss a step, well, you won't get the results that you would like. So let's go into the settings guide, and hopefully these will work for you as they are working for me. Hey guys, I hope you are all doing well. In this video I will show you my tools that I use and my settings to get a smooth VR experience in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And these settings are now refined, updated for Sim Update 2. We're still in Sim Update 2 beta, but I think in about a week or next week Sim Update 2 will be released. So these are my preferred settings for VR and the tools that I use. I won't go into OpenXR settings or virtual desktop settings. I'm using an HP Reverb G2 still. Some of you will have a Quest 3 or a Pimax, and those settings are very, very different. And all of these settings are system related, your own system related. So I'm just going to show you the tools that I use for the base for a very smooth VR experience. So we're going to talk about the Intelligent Standby List Cleaner, DLSS Swapper, AutoFPS, and Nvidia Profile Inspector, and then of course the settings in the sim. So the first tool that I use, that is the Intelligent Standby List Cleaner. Maybe a little bit small here, but all right, let's go. So when you run the Intelligent Standby List Cleaner, and I will leave a link for all the software and all the tools that I use in the description of the video, so you can download it, or maybe you have them already. So the Intelligent Standby List Cleaner, when you first start it, what you see here is your total system memory. I have 32 GB. You may have 64, 48, 128. I don't know. 32. So it's giving you the total system memory. Here's your standby list and system working set. Already 12 GB are, well, in the working set. So the free memory is only 336 megabytes. Now, the standby list, what this does, this cleaner, is it cleans this standby list and free up memory. So what you have to set here in the first box, the standby list will be purged when these two conditions are fulfilled. The list size is at least, and that must be half of what you have in total. So I have 32, so half of that is 16. If you have 64, half of that is 32. And free memory is lower than 1024. Then you check Start ISLC Minimized and Auto Start Monitoring, and allows ISLC on user logon, so when you start your PC. Next, you want to have the timer resolution 0.5. Now this is a value that is very hard to set in this box. What you can do is, if I take a notepad, type in 0.500, then you can copy that and paste it in here. Paste. And then you're gonna enable timer resolution, and if you are on Windows 11, use global timer resolution request. You're gonna check that, and then you have to restart your PC. Right. So now when I click on start, you will see it will start, nothing happening. the boxes are grayed out because it's running in the background, so I can change anything. And one other important part is you have to set the ISLC polling rate at 500 milliseconds. Check. So now you see my working set is 12 gigabytes full. So when this reaches 16, and it's slowly filling up, and I'm getting less memory and less memory, slowly filling up. So when it is 16, it will automatically purge the standby list. I can also do this manually by pushing this button. Now look what it says. It was cleared 6 times. Now I'm gonna purge it. Yeah, there we go. And now its standby list is empty, and I got a lot of free memory. This is a very important tool to have running in the background. It's very small, it doesn't take up much memory, but it will free a lot of memory for you and make sure that you won't have any stutters or less stutters in the sim. All right, next one is DLSS Swapper. All right, so here we go, DLSS Swapper. This is your first time seeing it. When you open it, it will show you what games you have on your PC, and then you can go into your library and you can download the latest DLSS file, version 3.10.2.1. I guess Microsoft Flight Simulator normally comes with version 3.10.1. Alright, so you download this one. Oh, cancel. You can download it by pushing on the arrow. I already have it, but if you click on the download button, it will download it for you automatically. And you come back to your library, you click on the game. In this case, it's Microsoft Flight Simulator 24. Now DLSS, you want to check the top one and then click swap. I'm not going to do it because I already did it and I have the game running. For frame generation, you're going to choose the top one. Also, cancel out here, and then FSR 3.1. You want to have the latest one, 3.1.3. And then you can close DLSS Swapper. Alright. Next, what we're going to do is want to make sure that we have the latest Nvidia driver, and you want to do a clean install of your Nvidia driver, and after that we go to the Nvidia Profile Inspector. So when you're installing the Nvidia driver, the graphic driver, and on time of this recording the driver is 576.28. Do not install the HD audio drivers, and also leave everything unchecked except for the graphic driver, because when you install the audio drivers, the HD audio drivers, you can have some crackling sounds and terrible stutters in the sim. It will give you many problems, and you won't be knowing where to find them. Right. In the Nvidia Profile Inspector, on the global driver profile, the base profile, we go to sync and refresh first, and then we're going to set if you have G-Sync, full screen and windowed, G-Sync application requested state allow, G-Sync global feature on, G-Sync global mode full screen and windowed, maximum pre-rendered frames is 1, preferred refresh rate highest available, vertical sync use 3D application. Then we go to anti-aliasing, FXAA enabled disallowed. Then we go to texture filtering, that's all anisotropic filter optimization is on, sample optimization is on, anisotropic filtering mode user defined off, anisotropic filtering setting 16 times, prevent anisotropic filtering on, texture filtering negative LOD bias, the X -1. This will give you a slightly sharper image. Texture filtering negative LOD bias allow. Texture filtering quality on high performance. Texture filtering prelinear optimization is on. Then we go to the number 5, common. DLSS. Enable DLL override on. DLSS overridden by latest available. Force preset letter K. This will give you the best visual quality, but also ghosting in the glass cockpits with the altitude ribbon on the G1000 and on the speed ribbon. So it will have ghosting on the rolling numbers. If you don't want that ghosting, go with preset F, and then you won't see any ghosting. But with preset F, the visual quality is a little bit less. So I go with preset K, and when I fly with Steam gauges, it's fine. It's really good. Then we go to DLSS RR, enable DLL override on, and the forced preset letter quality level not applicable. For scaling ratio needs force quality level is off. Power management mode, prefer maximum performance, or you can set this also to optimal performance. But let's leave it here. Resizable bar enable. You can also set this to this one and then apply changes. And this one is for Microsoft Flight Simulator 24. The shader cache, that's all depending on you, how much you have. I have 10 GB, that's more than enough. And then the rest is basically normally you don't have to change anything there. From here we go to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Now, here we have basically the same things, but now here we have anti-aliasing transparency super sampling set to AA mode, replay mode all. And then texture field negative LOD bias it's allowed, that's the same. These are all the same. Resizable bar, you can change this also to that one, apply the changes. And then we have another one, and that is in other Nvidia predefined ANSL usage, ANSL allow, disallowed. And then quality upscaling, Nvidia quality upscaling on. And the rest is the same. And then here you have the profiles for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm going to apply the changes, and then we're going to get out of the Nvidia profile settings. Next, we are going to edit a line in the user configuration file of Microsoft Flight Simulator. You can see I have a GeForce 3080, and in here the first part for video, we're gonna set the frame limiter to 45. Why 45? Because we want to have 45 frames per second capped in VR. If I set this to 30 and then fly in 2D mode and then use frame generation, I can get 60 frames constantly. Now if I set it to 45 in 2D, I will get 90 FPS. But in VR, I will get 45 FPS. And one other thing that I changed here, and that is in graphics VR, is that I enabled the ray traced shadows. And it is file, save, and we're going out of here. Because we are also using frame generation in 2D mode, make sure that if you're using frame generation that you turn on HAGS. Well, where do you find HAGS? Go to your system settings, display, graphics, change default graphic settings, and then turn your hardware accelerated GPU scheduling on. Right, that is on. The other tool that I use is AutoFPS. I will show it here. AutoFPS together with GPU Z. So here in AutoFPS, all I do is I'll tick the expert options and uncheck the auto reduce settings, and I check here VRAM for using GPU Z to get the information about the VRAM. So you see it now, it's 94% because I'm recording. If I'm not recording, this one is lower because it's also calculating everything that OBS is doing now. That's why it's not 90 but 84, because my VRAM is really high and the game is paused. So if I go in here, go to resume, just wait a little minute, wait a minute. Now it's running. You see T-lot can get lower, that's set, and we are at 90 FPS. See? But still, I'm using a lot of VRAM because I'm recording. Alright, so that's AutoFPS. Now, let's go to the settings for VR in the sim. Click on VR Graphics. So, anti-aliasing is DLSS Super Resolution. And then I'm using preset balanced. You can also go to quality. But for me, especially when I'm recording, I choose balance. When I'm just on my own, flying, not recording, I go to quality. You can change this. If you have a higher VRAM, you can change it to quality. Even change it to DLAA. Whatever you want. Sharpening 100. Exposure compensation, you can play with this. If it's too bright, lower it. If it's too dark, you can brighten it up. This is in Sim Update 2. This is in the beta. Reprojection mode is off. I don't use foveated rendering. I can do that, but not for recording. It doesn't look right. World scale, that's how big the cockpit looks for you in the headset. I have it set to 103 or 105, just a little bit like that. 103, I think 103 is the best setting for me for Flight Sim 24. Nvidia Reflex Low Latency on plus boost. Dynamic settings are off because we're using AutoFPS. Now we go to the global settings, global rendering settings. You see my terrain level of detail is 50 because of AutoFPS. Off-screen pre-caching ultra. Displacement mapping, and this is a very big FPS killer. Displacement mapping is that you see ground in 3D and all these things. I have it set to off. And also displacement mapping is that you see your tracks when you are taxiing over the grass, and that you see the indents of the tires in the grass or in the dirt. So I have that set to off. Buildings high, trees medium, plants, rocks and grass are high. Object level of detail is 100. Polymetric clouds high. Texture resolution medium. I think medium still looks good. If you set it to high, that's also a big hit on your FPS. Anisotropic filtering, 16 times, water waves, medium or high. I think medium is quite good enough. Here are the ray trace shadows. You see it grayed out. You cannot select this in the sim, but do that in user config file. My shadow maps, 2K, terrain shadows, 256, contact shadows, medium, windshield effect, high, ambient occlusion. All these settings are low. Traffic airport quality, air traffic is off. I'm using say intentions, so I don't want the normal traffic. Road traffic is medium, sea traffic medium, and fauna is off. Now these are my settings for VR. I'm not going to go over the 2D settings because, well, that's basically for 2D, and I'm changing these all the time. If I need to make a screenshot or a very nice picture, so then I'm going to change settings in here. Right, now let's jump into VR and see how this looks. Right guys, so here we are in VR, and as you can see I'm having around 38 FPS. That's because I'm recording, and recording cost me about 8 to 10 FPS. So yeah, 38 is what I get with recording, but still very smooth. Now let's release the parking brake. We've got a lot of crosswind. I think we have 22 knots crosswind. Not very ideal for a Cessna 172. Oh man. Maybe I had to change the wind, but anyhow. Here we go. And we're off. Look at this wind. Well, anyhow, we're flying. Don't mind the wind. Only takeoff and landing is it's very difficult with this wind. But as you can see, it's very smooth flying here, and still very sharp. Let's go a little bit up. Look at this, and the sky looks beautiful. It's so smooth. Then let's turn into the wind. Wind is coming from 060, 22 knots, gusting 32. So that's way too much for this little lightweight aircraft. But look at this, this is absolutely beautiful. There's the airfield. Getting 40, 39 FPS, and that is with recording. No audio issues. And this looks absolutely beautiful. So now if I go to FPS Advanced display, you will see my VRAM is now exceeding 100%, and that is because I am recording. So the 103% is of course with OBS running. And that's what you see. So without OBS it will be around 80%, sometimes 70 to 80%, and that's good. And my VRAM will be a lot less, around 6.8 gigabytes. So that will leave me a lot of headroom in VR. So now I can switch off the FPS system. Here we go. So the visual quality with preset K here in a steam gauge aircraft like this WSIM Cessna 172, and everything looks really sharp, especially for a HP Reverb headset. It looks really sharp, and I'm getting a decent amount of FPS. But when it comes to dialing a frequency, you will see that if you're looking here at the 124.85, if I start dialing it, you see some ghosting in the numbers. If I look up close, it's less, but when I'm further out, you see the ghosting, so you can't really see what you're setting. So if you want to do that, you have to come up close and then dial it in, or hit your mouse button to focus and then dial in the frequency. So it's doable, but yeah, I like the visual quality of preset K, but I don't like the ghosting with the rolling numbers. Just look at this, it looks absolutely beautiful. It's sharp, clear, lots of clarity. But look at this is absolutely stunning. Good FPS. A nice flying, sharp, clear image in the headset. Really love this. So hope you like these settings. Fine-tune them to your likings, because every system is different. You may have more VRAM, more RAM, a better GPU. Who knows? So tune them to your likings. This is what I'm using with the other apps, and it's working really good for me. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye for now, and take care.